Oh, freedom.
My people have struggled in this country since 1619. In fact, some of the earliest slaves were brought to North America in the 1500s.
As my people were emancipated in 1863, but some of us didn't find out till later in 1865.
That's why we celebrate Juneteenth. Even though we were free in January of that year, everybody didn't get the news until June. My job is to make sure I emancipate my people, to help them purchase homes, to help them become entrepreneurs, to help them build up their wealth, because you truly can't be free unless you can curate your own wealth. I want to make sure that I help you become emancipated by sharing you the documented stories that we have in our quest to emancipate our people. This is one of those stories.
And go home to my Lord and be free.
What's up, everybody? We here for another edition of Emancipate. Sorry it's been so long. At least I know you all watching, because I haven't done it in a while. I'm going to get more consistent, I promise you that. But anyway, coming out from not being out in a while, man, I got a treat for you. We have our own Ashley Smith over here from 13 News Now. Go ahead and introduce yourself for some that may not know. Maybe they don't have a TV. Maybe they got the box and stuff. And maybe they don't have TV at all and don't know who you. Because if you got a TV, you know who she is.
Oh my goodness. I don't know about all that, but good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you might be watching this. So the way I normally introduce myself is I've been up since about 2:30, 2:45, because that is shortly before I get to work. My show starts at 4:30 in the morning on 13 News Now. It runs from 4:30 to 7, and then again at noon. I also do the noon show. So been doing that now. As of next month, February, it will be 12 years.
Wow.
I have been at 13 News Now. So it's been wonderful, wonderful team, great organization, and they do some phenomenal work there. So I'm very blessed, but it does feel weird to be approaching 12 years at at one place.
Wow.
But it's good. It's a good thing.
That's how I sound, because I've been here for 13 years. And this is probably the longest, not that I was in education for a while, but I was at one school for 3 years.
Yeah.
Then I moved to another school for 3 years. Then I went to become an assistant principal, then a principal. So even though I was in education like 12 years or so, something like that, I wasn't in one place more than 3 years. So when I came here, I was like, dude, I've been here. This is the longest I've ever been. And to be honest with you, I ain't trying to throw no shade, but I was like, okay, I'm always 2-3 years. I'm good. I'll be out. Because I did not want to leave Atlanta to come here. You know what I'm saying? And so like when I got here, it was just amazing how I got here. And I'll tell that story another day. But yeah, to be here 13 years, I like it now, but it had to grow on me.
It's not Atlanta, right? It's a bit of a different vibe.
It's a different vibe.
It's got its own thing going.
Yeah, because I meet people like you, so I'm chilling, man. So it's like I never would have met someone like you probably in Atlanta. Who knows? But I'm having a ball here.
Good.
So thank you, Newport News. Sorry, Gladys. I'll come get some chicken and waffles later.
What?
And whenever I catch the midnight train.
I'm sorry, chicken. Back in. Oh, not here. Okay.
Oh, she already knew. Okay. Where you from?
I was getting ready to get excited. No, I'm from here.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that's why I was like,
I don't even feel bad.
Waffles?
Oh man, my fault. So when I go back to Jewel, I had to bring you some chicken and waffles. Man. Gladys, I'm coming. I gotta bring some chicken and waffles back. She said, "What here? I know you. Where is that?
Chicken and waffles."
Oh my God! Now I don't feel bad at all. I have a native agreeing with me.
Yes.
A native Newport Newsian. You know, I know y'all say what. 2 up, 2 down, or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? VAV. I mean, that's what they do. Man. I'm saying,
what we do.
I learned something. But anyway, aside from the chicken and waffles, it's been good here because I love water. So being surrounded by water is good. But let me tell you all, this young lady has blessed me on more than one occasion to allow me to be on her platform. The first time was I was with Doc Christian, the voice. You know, if I had a voice like that, everybody would be slave. Come to Jesus. But, you know, he got the voice. And so I was on with him because of an event we had going on at the church. And then she came and brought me on Make a Mark, right?
Yes, that's
Making a mark for In Touch. So I appreciate her so much. Like, what makes you, I mean, I know a lot of times you have to report like negative news because, you know, that stuff sells. Plus people need to know.
Right.
But how did you get into the place where you were able to do like the positive news? Most of the time I see you is positive.
Blessed. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It really kind of just sort of fell that way. I was in this place when I first got to 13. I was a traffic reporter and I worked part-time. And I was really trying to find my place even at that moment. And I say it was one of those blessings where I was able to explore, well, where's my gift in this space? Right. And I think a lot of times, news is fast paced. It is very much, do what you need to do. News of the day, as you were saying, sometimes, a lot of times it's very sad or very negative. And I had the opportunity that, I don't think comes around all that often, where I was able to explore what works best for me. How can I contribute to the station in my best way? And they allowed me to explore that at the time while I was still doing traffic. And so I kind of eased into making a mark. And so now I've been doing that for, I think I just crossed over 6 years. It's 6 or 7 years telling the stories of people in Hampton Roads doing great things, organizations that are doing great things, that are just giving of themselves and their time to help somebody else. And it's just happenstance that I was able to explore that. So it was good.
Well, first of all, I got to thank you for just bringing In Touch into more light.
Yeah.
And what we just did now, right before we got here, because I got here not that long before you, because we were sending a truck off to California.
Yeah.
Because of the wildfires.
Yeah.
When I met with you, we were just sending 2 trucks to Asheville and 1 to Augusta. Now another disaster is up. And now we just sent a truck off. But more people, I believe, gave this time because of being on your show. And so we raised money a little quicker. Normally I have some reserves and we pay out, but this time people actually were giving. Even churches were giving, because sometimes churches don't give. Thank you. They don't get other churches, but I appreciate y'all. You on my block, Kingdom Ministry, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be territorial, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the wire, you know what I'm saying? This is my block. Jesus, I'm selling Jesus on this block. You know what I'm saying? I try to help everybody, man, but sometimes folk be mad. But that's why I realized when I stopped doing it through New Beach Grove this time, and did it through In Touch, more churches help. Even though it's still New Beach Grove, but don't tell nobody. But I ended that. But I ain't care if I did ministry on the block. Sometimes because I'm on the outside, Gator and paid in full people gospel. You know what I'm saying? The OGs. Seriously, I'm gonna come back. But when I first got here, I ain't gonna say their name. I tried to do the basketball. We did the basketball. It's big. I was trying to give it to them because I'm an introvert. People don't believe it. I'm an introvert, but I really didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it, so I did it. Then I was trying to get into disaster for the Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do it, so I went ahead and did it. And then somebody came to me, son, literally, dude, I swear I felt like I was on the wire. Dude come and said, hey,
wire's crazy.
Did you talk to Bishop so-and-so before you did this? Did you get permission from him? I'm about to kiss a ring, nigga. I don't know why I'm so wild right now, but I just got to tell you. And they was like, dude, I was supposed to get permission to do ministry from the OG, I guess. But I was like, dude, I asked y'all that y'all want to help. Nobody wanted to help. So I moved on. So, it already takes me more energy to ask for help than it does for me to just do it by myself. Because I really don't like reaching out to people. But anyway, because of your gifts, you put me out there.
You're an introvert?
Yeah, I am. Look at her. She think I'm lying. See, I am. But when I took this test, this is what I realized. The one that does the letter, the INJ and all that. That test, I always thought I was kind of extrovert, but I was like, well, I don't talk to people that much, because when you take most of the time when you take those personality tests, you take them at the job. And you answer a question based on your job.
Yep.
But then when I took this test, it asks you personal questions and it asks you job questions. Mm-hmm. So all my personal questions were introverted, but all of my work was extroverted.
Interesting.
Which was crazy. And I said, oh, I get it. I do extroverted thing. God called me to do that, but I believe it helps me stay rooted, because I really don't like attention, so it don't go to my head. You know what I'm saying?
And there's a lot of people in ministry too, right? That they do all the big things, but then when they get home, it's like,
you gotta get
quiet.
Gotta go.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. One time I made a mistake, called Bishop Morton on Monday, right? So Bishop says, I said, hey, he answered the phone. He sounded like he was almost, he sounded real. So he said, hey, he said, you okay? You okay? He tried to make sure it wasn't an emergency. And I said, yeah. He said, it's Monday, right? I said, yes, sir. So I knew, because Sunday, after you do all the extroverted stuff, sometimes, like, Bishop a quiet guy. He said it in such a nice way, but he really like, Negro, unless you dead, don't call me.
You know it's Monday. What?
If you still living, don't call me on Monday. He ain't saying, but the told he was like, everything okay? Yeah. You do know it's Monday, right? Because Monday, that's when we crash.
But see, I would have thought, I mean, that makes sense. But I was, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, you can't call on Sunday because Sunday you conduct business on Sunday. So you will wait for Monday.
Yeah.
No?
No, but see, Sunday, I don't really bother them on Sunday. But see, me, I don't be as tired on Monday as most preachers because on Sunday, I go to sleep at the church. Like, they'll go to the country club. They'll go eat with everybody. They got family, so they out. You know what I'm saying? Me, I sleep, so I'm cool on Mondays when most preachers not. Because I come home, like, that's probably the only time I really rest. So I come home on Sunday, like, I might try to stay up and watch the game because the playoffs, but most of the time, man, I miss it. But yeah, Bishop like, whatever. But yeah, so Mondays, it's hard to catch like preachers because that's when they crash it. But he was pretty much like, hey, dude, he real smooth with it though.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sorry, Bishop, won't call you on Monday ever again unless I passed away or something. All right.
What? Wait a minute. What? Okay.
Yeah, don't call unless I'm dead. No. But anyway, but seriously though, but you are gifted because you really helped us raise money. You do the 757. Like, how does that work out? I'm gonna almost segue, but I'm gonna stop right quick. But
okay,
the 757. How does that work? Cause we trying to get on it. Donna, see, Donna has another question.
Do a little drop right.
Yeah. How do we get on this?
So actually, well, it's a wonderful program. So Give Local 757 is this yearly program, just to make sure everybody is caught up with that, where all of the I won't say all of them, but a lot, maybe like over 200, I think at this point, nonprofits across Hampton Roads, they get together, they say, this is our big campaign. We are trying to raise funds so that we can continue to do what we need to do for the community, right? So it's a big push. 13 News Now has been involved for a few years at this point. I can't remember how many years, but myself and some of my fellow co-anchors, we are able to talk to a few of the nonprofits that are participating in Give Local. And so it's just this big campaign. They try to raise, a couple $1 million just for Hampton Road. I mean, it's really money that's already here, but we're just allotting it for the nonprofits that are making a real difference across the area. So we're able to feature them kind of leading up to the big day, some on the big day. So there are lots of different ways where we can kind of get the word out about Give Local so that on the big day, your pockets are ready to go. You know who's participating. You know who you want to support. There's no question. There's no issue. It's get out and make a difference. Because these nonprofits, I mean, you're making a difference all year round. Yes. But at some point, we got to help with that.
Yes.
And that's where that comes from. And so we get to do the small part of, here are some of them that are out there making a difference. This is where your money can go. So that's what it's about.
Wow. And thank you so much for that. So we're going to have her on right before 757. We trying to, because she's gifted. She need to be a trustee at Newbies Grove because you really helped us raise money and raise to make sure we got these trucks out. Now we need to go ahead and get this Banquet Hall and commercial kitchen together because we keep the homeless pretty much November through March, 6:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. Because to provide them shelter during the winter months. And I know a lot of times, like I said, people think that church is supposed to do more, but you only can do it when the government allows you to do it. So, but we appreciate you so much. But speaking of money, she's not only gifted in helping you curate money for your nonprofit, she helps you curate money for yourself personally. And she even helps young people learn how to take care of money and build finances, because a lot of times we don't learn these particular. Me, I'm a former educator, administrator, and principal, and we brought programs in that you're doing in order to teach them about how to money manage and things of that nature. But it wasn't a part of the curriculum in the schools that I was teaching at in Atlanta. So tell us about that program. Tell us about how you help people learn how to take care of their money. Even if you owe, you need to know.
Oh, yeah. It's the same principles for everybody, right? I think the key is that, first of all, we got to start normalizing this conversation and stop being afraid to talk about money just
Sound
in
like me on
general
Sunday.
conversation. Okay,
You better
is
go ahead.
that what the word was? Did I miss the word?
Man, because church people especially
Oh.
feel like you're supposed to be broke. When the Bible says he wished above all things that you be prosperous and in good health, even as your soul prospers, which means that your soul, that's your mind, your intellect, your reasoning, which
That's
means
right.
the more you learn and the more you take in about your health, the more you learn about your finance, the more you learn God can trust to give it to you because now you're
Yes.
educated enough to handle the blessing that he wants to give you.
That's
So anyway,
exactly
let me
right.
get out the way. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
But
no.
You
I
say
mean,
that
but-
because church folk act like you're supposed to be broke.
Well, and I think the thing about it is, you know, a lot of times I think we have to be so careful about how we, pick and choose words out of the Bible, right?
Yes.
I mean, because everybody talks about, how the Bible says you shouldn't love money or whatever. And I think the issue here is that if we had more conversations about money, we would understand that there are some people who are idolizing money,
Reverend.
glorifying money,
Reverend.
right? And stop it.
Preaching, I'm sorry.
But that's true.
Yes.
And that is where the issue comes in. But, God has given each and every one of us a portion. And to your point, once you learn how to manage it properly, he can give you more. I love the analogy of pretending that you are a banker, right?
Yes.
And if I was taking $100 to the bank and you're my banker and I hand that to you and then I walk away, come back the next day and say, hey, where's my $100? I want to withdraw it. And you say, well, I spent it. I'm not going to give you any more of my money.
No, we gonna have a problem.
Let's pretend we're all bankers and God is handing, because that's what it is. It's not our money. It's his money. And so our responsibility is to be the managers of that money. He is trusting us to utilize it in the right way, to invest it in the proper way, to take care of other people in the right way. So if we're so busy worrying about ourselves and mismanaging and not learning how to properly take care of those things, we are not being good bankers. We're not being good managers of God's money. God gonna take his money and go somewhere else.
Yes. See, that's it. It's his money, right?
Same thing we would do.
You got to do with his money what he say do with his money.
That's absolutely right.
That is, man, you preaching. My God, Bishop Smith up in
I'm
the
just saying,
house.
it's the PK in me. What can I do? What can I do?
And we got it. That is awesome. But
Yeah.
because we definitely need to teach our kids and teach
Yes.
people how to take care of money. But some people think it's taboo. And the thing about it is, go back to the same scripture I said, he wishes above all things that you be prosperous and in good health.
Yes.
And the devil attacks your health and your prosperity more than they attack anything
Yes,
else.
it does.
Because if your wealth goes, so your health.
Right.
If your health goes, your wealth following it.
You're
Because
right.
and they hand in hand, and you can't help anybody unless you have an overflow.
Yes.
And so a lot of people say, yes, the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. But I'm gonna tell you something. In a close second, the lack of money brings me evil too.
Come on, Lack.
Now you shouldn't love money.
Right.
I don't love money. I tell you this, I love money. I don't love money, but I like it a lot. I like it a lot. We got a strong like relationship. I don't love it,
You ain't
but
drop
I
the L
like it a
word.
lot, right? Because
Right.
I must. But God wants, he says he wants you to be blessed because he wants you to
Yes.
be able to be generous in every good work,
That's
which means
right.
every time you want to do something. But we want to help California. If we didn't have an
Yep.
overflow,
Mhm.
then we wouldn't be able to help California.
That's it.
We couldn't have helped Asheville if we didn't have an overflow. And people need to understand God does not bless you just to bless you. He wants to make you a blessing. And a lot of times when people get mad and attack, when people talk about prosperity, they're attacking because they have lack or they're dealing with some issues.
That's right.
And they need to get rid of that spirit of lack because we don't want you to lack. In fact, prosperity in the Greek means lacking nothing, which means you're not lacking in your health, you're not lacking in your relationship,
Yeah.
you're not lacking in your education, you're not lacking in your career, and you know what else you're not lacking in? You're not lacking in your money. And a lot of times people think that money is evil. No, Ecclesiastes says money answereth all things.
That's
you
right.
need money. You understand?
You
You
need
have
it.
to have money.
That's right.
I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm going to leave that
What
one. I'm about to mess with that.
Now I want to know what he's going to say.
Now I'm about to say, man, go try to talk to a lady and you broke. Hey, you might well just go home.
Well, listen.
Hey.
Now, what some of us we see potential.
We see potential.
Okay.
That's good, yeah. You can see potential. But if they don't see potential and think you're gonna always
You always
be
be.
broke, you're gonna be by yourself. Anyway, but seriously, she teaches the tools in order to take care and be able to take care. And I believe this is the thing. Sorry, I just stopped in the middle. I taught special education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I realized some of the things that we really taught them, we should have been teaching in mainstream. Because you know what I did? I had to teach them how to get a grocery list. I had to teach them how to plan out their finances. I had to teach them how to take care of a checkbook because they knew that they'd be able to function one day, but they weren't going to school. But my thing is, I'm teaching them this, which they need to know. But why wasn't this in the curriculum? You understand? We had games where we taught them about banking. I would play Monopoly to teach them about business and things of that nature because I had to teach them functional academics. And we should be teaching these functional skills in regular stream education.
You know, I think sometimes it boils down to the fact that we have to remember that we live in a world, a society that runs on an economy, right? And if you think about the economy, it thrives on the exchange of goods for money, right? And so if you think about the typical person, right? I work all day, I get off, I'm tired, I want something to make me feel better. Right. So I go, buy myself a dress, or I go get some shoes, or I go to the movies or something like that. And it's this instant gratification that makes me feel good. Yes. Meanwhile, I'm so busy chasing the instant gratification and trying to escape from the issues of life that I have no idea where my money went, right? Yes. And so, but in an economy, that kind of works, right? Because, hey, if I can keep selling you things to make you happy temporarily, then I keep, as someone who is a business owner or part of a corporation, I'm good because I know to put my money to the side. I know to invest. I know to buy businesses. I know to, I know the things to do. But if I can keep feeding this instant gratification to the masses, that keeps me from having to do anything. I can sit back. I'll tell you this story. I was going through an airport one time. Once I really realized what was going on from a financial standpoint and me really trying to take back control of my money because for a long time I was not doing that. Okay. So I'm just learning this, right? I'm going through the airport and it's like a duty-free thing. So everybody's really excited and I got to go grab all these things off the shelves, right? And it's all these brands and it's flashy and it's amazing. And I will never forget the moment I stopped in the middle and I looked around. These lines are long. People are stressed out because I want this. No, you want this. And we're fighting over all this stuff. And I said, you know what? The owners of these companies are not here. They're not close to here. They're on a beach somewhere, getting a tan, checking their phones, going, oh, look, my net worth just went up again. And I didn't do anything, Meanwhile, we're sitting here stressed out, spending the few dollars that we do have to make you rich. And we have not taken time to pay ourselves yet. And that was a turning point for me where I said, look, here's the thing. It's not that you don't live your life. It's not that you don't buy things and get things that you want that make you happy temporarily. It's not saying that. There is space for that too. The problem is we are fueling generational wealth for other families and not our own. Right? We're going broke at the expense of taking care of people that we'll never meet. Wow. So the key is to still go live your life, to still go and support these businesses. We don't want to not support, right? But pay yourself first. Okay, make sure the money is going into your bank account first, and then we can go out and live our best life.
That's what I'm talking about. She laying it down. It's crazy. I said this yesterday, and this is crazy because that's what I tell people. Pay God, pay yourself, then take care of your bills because you're going to make sure you take care of your bills because you don't want to be homeless. But if you take care of your bills and go get all those other things, you may not pay God and you may not pay yourself. But if you pay God and yourself first, you got that out the way, you will figure out the rest of your life.
That's it.
You understand? So you have to learn how to put those things away, right? The instant gratification, you got to learn how to have some delayed gratification.
Just a little bit.
And so right now, I'm feeling a situation myself. So I'm just going to be transparent because I don't, anytime I do credit cards, I use it so I get my Sky Mile and I pay it off at the end of the month. Well, y'all were on the film and we might run that story because I think it may pan out. So I paid like $203,000 to I have two listings. I have a listing. The buyers wanted another one of my listings, but I was listing theirs. But I needed to get their house together before they could buy this one. And so the owner was ready to sell, but he a good investor of mine. I said, you know what, if I pay this off, can you hold it? So I paid it off. Boom, he hold the house. Now, mind you, I already got money tied up in another house, like 100 or something. So pretty much got 400 something just tied up in my cash. But I'm such it's killing me right now. It's like, because I know I'm supposed to close this other house tomorrow, and my credit card is like, no, I pay all my bill stuff on it, but it's like $15,000. I need to pay it off.
Mm-hmm.
But now I might like be only paying like $3,000 because I need the rest of this money because I'm entitled so much of my cash. And I'm like, how do people live like this?
Yep.
Like, I'm living like this for a week or two, and it's driving me crazy because I tied up my cash, but I tied it up in investments. Now, one, maybe every good deed doesn't go unpunished, because I probably shouldn't have did the other house that I'm doing, because it's not going to really bring me returns. It's going to help me with a commission, and it might be a great story if it pans out. But I tied my money up with, really without a plan.
Right.
The pastor in me got in the way, and Maxwell Realty, the broker was like, Negro, sit down. The broker is looking at Pastor Maxwell like, sit down, dude. Where's the plan? Where's your return? Yeah, it's good. You great. You heard the story and your heart is in it. That's why you don't go to people's houses on Sundays. That's why you should have took your butt home and went to sleep. Because Monday, the broker would have been back. Whoa, you know what I'm saying? Right. But Pastor is in the way. And a lot of times we put ourselves in situations helping people and overextending ourselves, helping other people, but you need to take care of yourself and your family first and give them the overflow. Yeah. Now, it was an overflow for a moment until I saw another house that I wanted, but that's why I don't be tied up all my cash, because I would delay my gratification to make sure I got enough money to buy a house that I want, because I don't like doing the hard money loans. Yeah. Because if I do 100,000, they're going to want 10. Which is what I had to end up doing, because I tied up my cash and I didn't want to go into my annuity this time. So I left everything, alone. So what I'm saying is this: at least mine was kind of business, and it's going to come back. It's not going to come back as great as it would if it was an investment property, because I'm going to get 20-30% back. This, I'm going to just get a 3% commission, which is cool, and it's still a return, but I'm still not making what I would normally make. Yeah. So my thing is this: I'm feeling bad and stretched, even though in the end it's going to return my money, but it's not returning my money the way it should. This is how I need you all to start thinking. So if I'm getting upset because I held up a house that I'm not making the biggest return as I should, you should definitely feel bad when you're going to buy a Gucci bag and you should be investing in your 401k. You should feel bad if you're going to buy Fendi or FUBU or anything, you know what I'm saying, that you're going to pay before you pay yourself, right? Yeah. If maybe you need to stop getting your hair done every week. Maybe you need to get it done every other week, boo. Maybe every 3 weeks, maybe once a month. Who knows? You need to learn how to deny yourself so you can begin to pay yourself. Yeah. Now, I started off like this. Now, with buy a little house here, I get a loan. Now I'm at the point where I'm doing hard money loans for people. I'm the lender and not the borrower. You know what I'm saying? And God will put you in that situation, but you have to learn how to deny yourself. Not in my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd be writing checks for other people to get investment homes, and I'm paying cash for a house. I never thought that, but you know what? It started out, like she said, little by little, paying myself first before I paid. Yep.
Faithful over few things.
Make you rule over minutes. Yeah, that's a pastor right there. What church you go to?
New Oak Grove Missionary Baptist Church, 3200 Harriet River Road, Virginia Beach.
Get out of here.
Speaking of, look, not the shoulders. You see the shoulders?
Got me doing the bankhead bounce. She made me feel like I'm in the A, baby. Bankhead bouncing, baby.
I took you back to the A.
We make it to the A. I'm talking like she flowing like the A. Go ahead.
I could not. Oh, Jesus. Okay. What I was going to say was, speaking of my church, so I'm actually teaching a class on finances now. And one of our recent classes, so you mentioned credit cards. Do you know what credit score we are trying to get in my class?
700 plus.
700 plus? Is that your final answer?
Trying to get to 800?
Is that your final answer?
Go ahead. What is it?
0.
0 what?
Credit score.
Credit score?
Let me tell you why.
Help me.
I got you. Don't worry. Now, mind you, this is not necessarily your situation. This is kind of the average person, right? Think about this, right? What is a credit score? What is a credit score telling the lenders?
That we'll borrow money.
And that we're good at it, right?
Right.
Why do we have to be borrowing all the time? A borrower is what? Yes. And in the Bible, a borrower is what? Slave.
Slave to the man.
To the lender. Okay. Our society has normalized us being slave to the lender.
It's crazy because I'm buying cash. Now you make
no,
I'm
not
you help me out because I usually buy with cash. Like I said, I buy with cash, but this is my first time doing it and I'm mad because it's tied up. But go ahead.
Like I said, your situation is different because you got a plan. The problem is the vast majority do not. They get credit cards and run $200,000-$300,000 up and have no way to pay that thing off. Okay, so what we're working on in my class is cutting up your credit cards, paying them off, closing the account. Now people go, well, what in the world? Like, why would I close the account? Because that's going to hurt my credit score. Why do you need a credit score? And nobody can answer my question. The truth is, you don't. There is nothing in this world that you need a credit score for. We have been taught that. And we have been told that, but there are ways around all of that. You can buy a car with cash. You can buy a house with cash. And if you don't have the cash, there's something called manual underwriting, where there are mortgage companies that will do the work that a credit score would tell them about you. And it's going to take a little bit more paperwork. It's going to take a little bit more effort on your part and on their part, but you don't need a credit score to buy a home, okay? The key here is I teach them to get out of debt. Pay off your credit cards, your student loans, pay off your car, pay off your mortgage, everything, so that nobody can take anything from you. And that's what a credit score tells us. A credit score, whether it's awful or really good, just tells somebody this is how well they're going to pay me back. Why do I have to pay you anything? I don't. If I can get myself in order, I can pay off all of this debt that's on my credit score, and I will have what's called an indeterminate credit score, which means you have a zero score. You have no debt. And that is what we need to be working towards. But it's a mindset shift, right? The mindset shift says, I don't need to owe anybody anything. And what is a credit card doing? It is only delaying what you have to pay back. It is putting your greatest wealth builder at risk, which is your income. Okay. What happens if I put this thing on my credit card and my plan is to pay it off at the end of the month and then I lose my job? Well, now I have no way to pay this thing back. And so now I'm going to have to use the credit card in order to pay this other credit card over here and then I got to take this loan to pay the credit card and I got to pay the loan back, but I ain't got no money. This is what happens in America all the time. We think we've got time. We think we have a plan. And then an emergency happens. We have nothing saved up. The vast majority of Americans cannot pay a $500 emergency. They have nothing in the bank. So what do? They turn to the credit card. And that is what society is teaching us. We have to unlearn what we have been taught all this time. Now, people will tell you, well, I can leverage somebody else's money. I can do this. I can do that. And there are a lot of people that are successful at it. I'm not talking to them people. If that's what works for you, then that's great. Right. The problem is 99.9% of us aren't going to be successful at it. Right. We are going to fail. And so the key is to pull ourselves out of the hole that we've been digging for years and years. Student loans, stop ignoring them things. Okay, they're going to come due here in a minute again, especially if you've got the federal loans, because everybody's been on this pause and forbearance and all this stuff like that. Pay them things off. Okay, stop putting this stuff on the back burner. We are getting out of debt in our class and we are cutting up credit cards and closing the accounts out.
Well, that's awesome. That is awesome.
That's the key.
That is awesome. We did that a few months ago. I forgot we called it the Fully Funded Life.
Yes.
We worked with Joe Sangle. And we had some people cut up their credit cards and they closed. We had them closed in there as well. Because if you know you can't stop doing it, do it. Now, when we did it, we kind of had them, hey, if you can get this switch to this one and get 0% for a moment, then pay this off so you can get some months to pay it off. But you're not getting it to go buy some more shirts and stuff.
That's the key.
Right. You're getting it just for this. And some people say, all right, we're going to do it, but I need you to hold it, and I don't want to remember this number so you can keep me from doing it. I said, okay, cool. And I said, so you just do this and you're going to pay it off. And so a lot of them ended up ended up paying it off. But I never knew about the zero credit score. But now you taught me something. So credit cards, now I see why they play that game.
Mm-hmm.
When you pay it off, because I pay my credit card off at the end of the month all the time. Boom, boom. And some people, some loan people will tell you, no, don't pay it off all the way. You need to leave some.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you leave some on there, your credit score go up a little bit more.
And it does.
And it does, because they playing game, or they want you to be in debt, because they want you to pay them that percentage.
That's right.
But now it hit me why that score. They try to psychologically keep you in debt. That's crazy. But I never knew. But I had people where I had to build their credit in order for them to get a loan.
Yeah.
In order to get a house. But now you done taught me something that they can do the manual underwriting. Because the guy, he paid cash all the time. So it's not, he didn't have bad credit. He doesn't have any credit. Yeah. And they say you got to, every time I get ready to get someone a house, even though they living okay, even though they may be in an apartment, but it may be in somebody else's name. Yeah, but they paying everything cash all the time. Cash for flights, cash for groceries, cash for bills, cash. And they're saying that they don't have any credit, so I had to build credit in order for them to get it. And it might take 6 months for them to build credit.
To build it up,
Almost like somebody with bad credit.
Right.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Zero credit score. So how do you, when you pay it all off, how long would it take to get to a zero?
So once you paid everything off, it's still going to take something around 6 months to a year before your score just drops all the way down, right? Because again, like there's still all of the like paperwork and formalities and all the things still have to go through and then it's kind of, I think, a little bit of just a shock to the credit companies, because they're like, what? We don't have no way to judge them. Like, you see what I mean? They have nothing on you anymore. And so it takes about, like I said, 6 months to a year before your credit score is zero. But that is actually a goal that we are working on, is a zero credit score. It's going to feel weird. It's going to be uncomfortable. But if you think about it, because the goal is this, let me also say this. I'm not just saying to have a zero credit score and then that's it. You talked about the fully funded life. And that's the other key to it, right? Is like not just the zero credit score, but then having the cash. You've also built that up to where your life is well-rounded when it comes to your finances. So we don't just talk about getting rid of all of your debt, but we also talk about building a fully funded emergency fund, right? What is an emergency fund? Well, it is 3 to 6 months of expenses. If you were fired today and you were not getting a single dollar in from here on out, could you live on what's in your savings account for at least 3 months? Ideally 6, because most people have, life and responsibilities and they need more money. So we teach that. Well, how do I know how much money I need to survive every month? What are your monthly expenses? Well, I don't know. How do I do it? Track where your money's going. What are your bills? Like, bring your life down to, if I lost my job, I had to cut out all the nonsense that I've been spending, and I just need a roof over my head. I need to take care of my kids. I need to do the basic things. How much is that for me per month? Multiply it by 6. That needs to be in your savings account. Okay. So now we're at this place where I have no debt. Nobody can take my house from me. Nobody can take my car from me. Nobody can take the things from me that I need and have. I have a fully funded emergency fund. So if you fire me, I can still live for 6 months while I go and find another job. Then we talk about investing. Then we talk about saving for your child's college fund. Then we talk about giving. Because that's the other key, is once you get to a point where your cup is running over, where does the run over go? The run over is supposed to be for other people that need it. And so that's where the giving portion, that's why I love being able to do something like Making a Mark, right? Because I'm showcasing the people that, I'm not saying everybody's got their finances together, but that is such a valuable part of your financial journey. Is not just taking care of you and your house, but once y'all are good, then taking care of somebody else's house and giving to people that really need it. So we go from, I'm struggling, I can't pay my tithes, to I'm paid everything. Like everything is good. I pay cash for everything. I'm not doing any credit. And I'm giving. I'm giving at church. I'm giving in my community. I'm giving to the causes that mean something to me. So we go from 0 to 100 in that class.
Wow. That's crazy. That is wow.
Yeah.
A 0 credit score. Never.
It's weird.
Never seen. Wow.
But think about it. That just means you don't owe anybody anything.
Right.
That just means everything you have is yours. That's all it means. But we just have been conditioned to believe that we gotta owe somebody.
Man, it was crazy. So I've always, when I was younger, my uncle, he do cars, and I was saying, I'm gonna pay this car off. He said, man, why you gonna pay the car off, man? The interest rate low, on the way. Keep the car long as you can. And so that's how, even though I was paying houses with cash, I still hadn't paid my truck off because I'm like, that was ingrained in my mind. And so when I started teaching the fully funded life, and I was like telling about it, I'm debt free. I said, you know what? I'm really not debt free because I still got this note, but I can pay it. So in my mind, whatever.
Right.
So I went ahead, wrote the check. Then I got asked to write a check. I didn't want to write the check. Because I write a check and pay a house off all day because I know I'm going to make money off of it. I ain't making no more money off that car. So I was like, let me keep that and just pay this little. And so anyway, I ended up paying it off. And now you making me feel better because at first I was like, man, I shouldn't have paid this truck off because then I had some cash to do this. And I done tied this money up over here. But but it makes sense. Yes, I don't want, you shouldn't want to owe anybody because now you're not paying any interest on it. I always, like I said, I use my credit card, but I pay it all off at the end. Why? Because I want my free flight. So I can handle mine. Y'all can't handle y'all. Some of y'all work towards y'all 0 credit score because you may need to if you don't have any discipline. But I know I'm going to try to use my American Express everywhere I go because I know when I swipe it, when I fly to Atlanta, I'm just using my Sky Mile points. But now, like I said, because right, it's not exactly
and
return.
If you're keeping on it, I mean, again, like that, it's a personal choice. But a lot of people they can't keep it
right. But see, I get it. So because I'm disciplined, I can do it. But that's what I was teaching my students in our class too. If you can't handle it, cut it up.
Cut it
you know
up.
What I'm saying? I can handle mine. But I just cut it up. You know what I'm saying? So you got to cut it. You know what I'm saying? So, yes. So, listen, you hear what she's saying. Work yourself to a 0 credit score if you're not disciplined. Pay all those things off. Stop going to Gucci, Fendi, Kmart, or wherever you go.
Until you can afford it.
If
you have the money in the bank, go ahead.
Exactly. If you got the money in the bank, go ahead and get it. But if not, leave it alone. Some people don't do credit cards knowing they're going to pay it off. Some people do credit cards because they don't have the money.
That's right.
And then they just stuck on this minimum wage, but they end up paying 2 and 3 times more than what they would have paid for it.
And don't remember what they bought.
Don't even remember.
I was just having the conversation on Saturday when we were talking about like, well, I have thousands of dollars in. Well, what did you buy? Oh, well, I think it was some food. I paid some bills. So if you cannot tell me this is exactly what it cost, this is exactly how much interest has accumulated. If you can't tell me those things, you've overpaid for that thing instead of just going in there and paying cash.
Yes.
Like you gotta stop. You have to get out of that mindset that it is okay to use a credit card. Like it's just for the vast majority of people.
I got you right because if you don't have the discipline, leave it alone.
Exactly.
So
and most people don't.
At Georgia Southern, I knew I had a credit card. I ain't had no money. Hey, look, back in the day, I was so broke that. Now when you do gas, it take like $100, $150.
Yep.
But back in the day, it only took $1.
Yep.
So like, dude, I'm like, you know what? Let me go buy these groceries first. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying this much. Okay, I know I'm gonna have it where I got $2 or $3 left, so I go get some gas. Dude, look. It take that dollar off. It take that dollar off, and then boom, I done overdrafted my credit card, but I got me some gas, you know what I'm saying, to put myself in further debt. So listen, don't live like I used to live.
Yeah. All of us went through it. I mean, I like I said, I was there.
Yes.
And I think the fear of having children and being like, oh, there are people that depend on me now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it woke me up to be like, okay, at some point, because I got twins, I got to pay for 2 colleges.
Oh, wow.
And I'm looking at my bank account like, I got enough to get to the next paycheck. And I was like, people don't live like that. There's a better way.
Yes.
And I just didn't know what it was. So that's when I started to explore and learn all of these things. And there's a surefire way to go from wherever you are, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, to being actually genuinely, truly wealthy in life.
Yes.
There's a way to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a key.
Yeah, I heard it. We're going for 0.
You're going for 0.
I be going for 850. I'm at 830, but I'm like, I need to go to 0 because that means man. I'm sure Warren Buffett got a 0 credit score. I'm going to pull his credit score.
I'm telling you, these wealthy people.
That's the point I was.
These wealthy people do not have credit scores because they pay everything in cash. So how? But what would you need a credit score for? You don't need one, and you don't have one.
Wow.
They're wild. And that's the difference. Like, you have to start thinking like the wealthy. You can't just say, I want to create wealth and generational wealth. You have to start thinking like people that actually already have it.
Wow.
And that's one of the things that they do. They also are not spending on things, to your point, that don't make them money.
Right.
A lot of us, we think we've reached a certain pinnacle in life, and we got to go get this Maserati. We got to go get the Tesla Cybertruck or whatever the case may be. The vast majority of millionaires drive Honda and Toyota.
Yeah.
Basic. Because as soon as you, one, it lasts longer, but then once you drive off the lot, what happens?
It depreciates.
Tanks. 60% of your car's value is gone in the first 5 years. And people are spending tens of thousands of dollars on these vehicles to impress people they don't even know or like. Okay? Yes. Meanwhile, you could have taken that same amount of money, invested it, and been a multi-millionaire in that same period of time. I mean, it's going to take a while. It's going to take a little bit longer, you know, it depends on how you invest it. But seriously, you know, but again, that mindset of we got to keep up with the Joneses. We have to be impressive. We have to look like we're rich, and meanwhile, we're broke. Meanwhile, the people that are actually wealthy don't look like it because they don't waste their money on things that depreciate in value. They buy assets, they buy businesses, they buy stocks, okay? They buy things that will make them money. They don't waste money on things that are going to make them broke. Wow. It's a mindset shift. You got to get out of this whole thing of, I got to look a particular way. And let me tell you something. I have learned to look a particular way on a lot less than I used to spend, okay? This dress is cute, but it cost me $15 on Amazon. Period.
Wow. I ain't gonna lie. She took my fire. Someone said, whatever. What? Look at that.
What?
Yeah, she $15. You got it. I'm glad I ain't clapped.
You know, we can find some cheap dresses. We can find some cheap dresses now. I just stopped buying them because it was almost like once I started thinking differently, I was like, I have enough clothes. I have plenty. Let me tell you, we're not gonna go into that conversation. Yeah. Just from buying over the years and not realizing that I could have taken that same amount of money and invested it and really turned it into something in, you know, a decade or 2 decades or something. But now it's just sitting there staring at me, and it has no value. This dress has no value. It is cute, but it has no value.
It is.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Really, start thinking differently, and it's easy. I won't say it's easy, but I think that the steps are easy, right? Track your spending, make a budget, save, fully funded emergency fund, pay off debt, invest 15% of your income, and stop. Like, you know, I think that's the other thing too, is we don't talk about how much is enough. Mm-hmm. You ever had somebody just tell you save every penny? Yeah. Well, what in the world does that mean? Man, I want to live my life.
It's just one biblical thing. It's one of these, I don't even want to name it anyway because I don't want to mess it up, whatever they do with it. But it was this way that they tell you about getting out of debt. This is a Bible course. And they would do it, and it would teach you how to save everything and do coupons. I'm like, that ain't no wealth. I don't want to go through here looking for no daggone coupons. I mean, it's good, but that ain't what I want to do.
Right.
And you supposed to memorize these scriptures and things of that nature. Huh. But I was like, y'all ain't building nothing. If I'm saving every last dime,
what am I doing?
I'm not living nothing in life. You'll get depressed. Like, if you saving every last dime.
Can't go nowhere, can't do nothing.
And I would look at them like, they definitely saving every last dime looking at, you know, shoes and stuff. But I know they made money, so they ain't trying to be funny. But it ain't like they were broke. They're not broke, so I'm not talking about poor people. But I'm talking about people just like so gone in this way that they feel like you're not supposed to do anything to live your life. That makes no sense. So we want you to live your life, but we need you to learn how to not take instant gratification every day. You need to learn how to delay your gratification, save money, and just play with a little allocated money and not your whole paycheck.
That's it. And you know, people that this is why I love you. You mentioned that I love talking to you know, like younger people, especially younger parents, right? Yes. Because if we've grown up where our parents did the best that they could by us, but that they didn't know, right? They didn't know how to teach us to do this and to do that, and to not get into debt, and so we learned what we learned. But people that have little children, if you start out right, you can set your kids up from like the womb. Or like while you're pregnant, you can start setting your child up, right? So we talk about for young people, if you have, small children, open an investment account for your child, okay? And start investing for them. And there are calculators online that you could just Google and say, if I put in $100 a month and invest in something that will return me, 7%, like a really simple index fund or something like that. Really easy stuff. Auto set it, walk away, don't touch it. It just comes out every month. How much can I have by the time my child turns, I don't know, 30, 40 years old? And sometimes these kids are like millionaires. $100 a month.
Wow.
Do you know that's what we spend on these ridiculous shoes and little baby clothes and some diapers and some wipes is $100 a month.
Wow.
Or you can make your child a millionaire. Which one do you want? Yeah. And so I teach that, and I'm like, I will tell you exactly what so many people have done. You can do a little research yourself, make sure you're comfortable with it. One index fund, auto take the stuff out of your, like make it easy for yourself, check it in 30 years, and tell me your child's not a millionaire.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
How long is your class, the zero?
So, what I'm doing now is actually a 9-week course. Of course, with just everything going on here lately, we had a couple of weeks that we took off. So we started at the beginning of the year. We're actually just on lesson 2 at my church right now, just because we had a couple of crazy weeks there. But it is 9 weeks, and so we not only go through each of the steps that you need to do that we were just talking about, but then we also talk about life insurance, because that's a whole other conversation. Okay, I don't know if we got time for life insurance, but oh my God, there are just certain ones that you need, certain ones that you don't. And certain ones that are part of a wealth building tool, and others that are just unnecessary. You could take that money and actually be building wealth, right, and not wasting it on life insurance that you don't need, or insurance that you don't need, I should say. But we can talk about that another time. So we go into insurance, and then we go into, again, that giving portion and teaching people that is a part of wealth, is not to just be greedy and keep everything to yourself, but to actually bless somebody else. So it is a 9-week course, but I also do personal, like, just one-on-one coaching. So if you are somebody that, is not really big on like the class setting, but you need somebody to look at your finances with a fine-tooth comb and help you come up with a wealth building plan, I do that as well, kind of like on the side.
Wow. Well, we definitely gonna make sure we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the easiest way, I'm big on email. So you can email me at ASMIT, no H, ASMIT12295@gmail.com. Just hit me up. Let me know if you're interested in that, and we can go from there. Because again, the process is not as complicated as people may think, but if you are taught or convinced that it's complicated, it separates you from being able to build that wealth. Right. And again, you're just contributing to somebody else's wealth building plan.
Right.
You need to have a plan for yourself. So we can certainly talk about that. Email me, let me know. I'd love to help.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, y'all hear it, man. Ashley Smith, zero credit score. We working for debt freedom. We working toward paying everything with cash and not credit cards. We trying to think like Warren Buffett, baby. We want to make money, and we want to walk in cash. We want a good measure blessing, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. We want debt freedom. Okay. And so the only way we can get to that is to train ourselves and go to different classes like she's offering, and have discipline enough to cut our credit cards up as we pay them off and stop charging our life up, especially when we know we're not going to pay it off at the end of the month.
There you go.
Wow. Thank you so much. You want to lead them with whatever tidbit you want to leave. It doesn't matter what, just lead them with a nugget of knowledge for whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter what the subject is.
Well, I'll say this. The foundation is going back to something that our parents did. And you said it. The whole like check register thing. I used to look at my mom when we were in the grocery store like, this is diabolical. Like, can we get in the car, please? Like, you got to stop and write down every little. That is the foundation to building wealth. Now, you might not have a check register. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't carry checks no more.
Yeah.
you have to write down every purchase that you make. I need a date, I need a location, I need an amount, and I need a category. And you need to know where your money is going. I'll end with this. So think about this. Think about a person that feels like they don't have any purpose, right? And I feel like sometimes we've even encountered people that felt purposeless, even if it was for a period of time. What happens when you feel like you don't have purpose, right? After a while, your mind starts to kind of waste away. Your body's wasting away. You kind of wandering around. You don't know where you're going, what you're doing. You don't know if you're going left or right. At some point, the people that used to see you all the time, they stop seeing you. They don't know what happened to you. Why? Because you don't have a purpose. You feel purposeless. The same thing will happen to our money if we don't give it a purpose. Wow. Okay? We are responsible for putting that purpose in every dollar that comes in our hands. And if you don't tell that dollar that you just made what to do, it shall disappear. It's going to waste away, and you're not going to know what in the world happened to it. Think about this. We have been given gifts. We have been given talents, and we are trading that. We are trading our talents, our gifts, and our time for these dollars that hit our hands, okay? It is our responsibility to give it an assignment. And again, it does not mean you cannot live your life. All it means is these dollars over here, you go to savings. These dollars over here, you go to investments. These over here, you're coming with me. We can go have a good weekend, okay? Like, it's all about assigning. But if you don't give your money a purpose, if you don't track it, if you don't know what your bad habits are, if you don't know what your issues are, you will never be able to build wealth. It is not about making a whole lot of money. There are millionaires walking around here that have never made six figures. There are people who live right beside you. There are people who work right beside you that are millionaires, and they're making the same amount of money as you. Stop acting like you cannot build wealth because you don't make six figures. It's a lie. You don't need to make some sort of big, huge, fancy business. You don't need to get some sort of inheritance. You have been given everything that you need. You're the reason why you're not wealthy. Okay? So if you want to fix it, come hit me up. I gave you my email. Let's go and let's get it.
Let's go. Let's go. You heard
Period.
it. Bring the smoke, baby. Bring the smoke. Wow. This is awesome. Thank you, man. Thank you. This is dope. I ain't got to say nothing. Right. You know, I always say something. I'm done. I ain't saying nothing. It's over. Take 10 or whatever, man. It's a wrap.
Wow.
Man.
And go home to my Lord.